man's walk, one 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 man's walk. Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel, One Man's Walk. I am your host, Gamal, back at you with another one. And so what we have for you today is the new Anthony Hamilton CD. What's the CD called? Love is the New Black. Love is the New Black. I'm a big fan of Anthony Hamilton. Love what he does. Love when he puts out projects. Support the projects. Similar to the AZ, who is a longevity legacy artist to me at this point, where I was buying their CDs back when they were I was buying their music back when it was CDs. And so similar to the AZ right here, we got a couple of them. We got the, what is this one called? Coming From Where I'm From. We got the Southern Comfort. Oh no, Soul Life, my bad. Soul Life. We do have the Southern Comfort as well. We got one of my personal favorites, Ain't Nobody Worrying. And we got The Point of It All. Now, I do have Back to Love as well, but I bought that digitally. And that was the last Anthony Hamilton CD that I bought before I took myself digital and went with this whole streaming thing. And so Back to Love. Now, you know my thoughts. You've been here before, whether you were on the previous podcast, Clean Your House Music with my man E. Shout out to that video. I appreciate those who supported that and supported what we did on that. Or you're familiar with what I've said in a few videos I've done on here, but I am very big on intros. The intro to a CD sets the tone. It lets me know where we're going on this particular CD. And based upon the intro, I get a good feel or a good understanding of potentially what your project is like. It doesn't mean that your intro could be fire and the rest of your CD could not be. Yes, that is very well a possibility, but your intro, how you set the tone, what the vibe is of the CD, lets me know potentially what direction we're going in. And so when I jumped in now, especially with these Anthony Hamilton projects, when you look at the Coming From Where I'm From CD, the first song was that Mama New Love, where he sampled the Jay-Z from the Blueprint. What's the name of that song? It's something with Mama, I think. But it's a song where it's the first of the 3 songs that were the last 3 of the CD. Like, it was that song was the only one that it showed, and then it was the Lyrical Exercise, and then probably one of my personal favorite records on that Blueprint CD, the Girls, Girls, Girls Part 2, both of which were bonus tracks that didn't actually show, but whatever that beat is. Cameron also crushed that beat, by the way, on the freestyle. If you don't know it, it was right around the time either he had just signed with The Rock or was about to sign with The Rock. I had the DJ Envy mixtape with it on it, where he was like, and stop coming to me with all that Rico talk. Rico's dead. It's killer season. Whatever that mixtape or whatever it is, that was fire. So we knew the Coming From Where I'm From CD was going to be fire because that intro was sick. And then the Back to Love, which I have digitally, so I don't have a CD of it. But that very first song, I think, is Back to Love, which was nuts. Nuts. And that let me know that project is probably one of my favorite Anthony Hamiltons. And this, where did it go wrong? This CD right here, absolutely nuts. And so that Where Did It Go Wrong CD, all fire. But yeah, Anthony Hamilton got a few of these. And so I'm a big fan. We talked about it on the last episode about the So So Def connection. That first Coming From Where I'm From is a So So Def project. And I know we're not going to get into this, but as a nice sidebar, I love when Joe Button, rapper Joe, jumps on these Anthony Hamilton records, whether it's the Coming From Where I'm From, whether it's the Where Did It Go Wrong. Please go back and listen to what he did on those records. You will understand why my affection for rapper Joe is so strong. Now, to get to this project, because I know we just did a little bit of intro, we're going to get right into it now. Love is the New Black. I just set the stage and told you that the intro lets me know where we're going. Let's jump into it. Let's see what this intro is sounding like, shall we? The moment I heard that, I already knew what time it was. So Let's speed it up a little bit. Love is the new black. I love when artists, legacy artists, longevity artists get right into it knowing what their audience and their vibe is. So I saw the album cover for it. The album cover threw me for a little bit, and I wasn't really sure what we were going to get. Is this going to be a super eclectic album? The album cover kind of gives me that vibe, like he was going to go into a different pocket of R&B, more eclectic, a different sound. But that intro let me know, regardless of whatever the album cover looked like, this is the Anthony Hamilton we're getting. The Anthony Hamilton we know, we love. The Anthony Hamilton that brings so much soul from in the stomach. That's the Anthony Hamilton we're getting on this project. Set the tone marvelously. Amazing record. Love is the new black. And shout out to that, because love is the new black. When you look at, we can go many ways with that, but just taking a look at what we've been through in this country recently, and more so than just recently, it's just that racism is now front and center. Like, racism has always been there, but now it's just prevalent. Now it's just out there. It's bold with it. This is what it is. I don't like you. This is how I feel about you. This is why I hate you, and all this other stuff. And it's really shown why black people have to stick together. And I'm not here to tell you, hey, can't love white people, can't love other races. None of that nonsense. None of that nonsense. But the understanding that everyone else feels an innate responsibility to love one another, and sometimes us as black people don't. But understanding everything that's going on in the country, we have got to have an appreciation and a love for our fellow brothers and sisters, period. And love is the new black. Understanding, love yourself, understanding loving your skin, understanding loving your kings, your queens. You understand? Being able to show appreciation. And as you see, I keep the family picture up behind me. Because yes, while this is my channel or whatever, my pod or whatever you want to call it, I'm still a family guy. You understand? I got almost 15 years married, 3 kids, a teenager, soon to be teenager soon, and a little one. And so I'm very proud of that, very proud of being able to hang in there. Marriages going to the left, to the right, people going this way, that way. We were almost there, didn't go there. And so I'm very appreciative. And so when he's like, love is the new black, I'm loving everything about me being black, period. And so let's jump back into it though. This next one, man, this one had me stumped because I really feel like I've heard Joe Budden on this and I could not think of what it is. But this is the, this next record is called Threw It All Away. Listen. We are 2 records in, and we already know the vibes. We are 2 records in, and we already know the vibes. Anthony Hamilton has taken a long while off in between projects. I think the last project he put out was What I'm Feeling, which, again, I have, it's in my streaming catalog, but I didn't actually buy it because Back to Love is the last one I physically bought, or digitally bought, I guess. But the vibe of this is letting me know. Anthony Hamilton took some time and said, man, this doesn't feel like a project he made in a weekend. And there's nothing wrong with individuals who make projects in a short period of time. Maybe you get in the studio with the producers, your writers, whoever you're in there with, your engineer, your musicians, whoever you're in there with, and you guys just vibe out, and you can knock out a project in a weekend. You can knock it out in a week. I think The Blueprint was made in a week. And you know how I feel about The Blueprint. That is a top 5 greatest rap album ever. Top 5. But I also like when people take their time. Similar to what I always say, I like to kind of take my time with the projects, listen to them in different headphones, AirPods, headphones like these, listen to them in the car, in the truck, listen to them in the Bluetooth speakers, all type of ways to kind of doing different things to get a feel for it. I like when they take their time and really it shows. And we're 2 songs in, and it already shows that this feels like something that he took his time with. He wanted to put energy, effort into it. I don't know if anybody was awaiting an Anthony Hamilton project, so there was no rush. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's a rush because people are like, man, you got to put out a project every year, every 2 years. And so in between your touring, in between your promos, in between the different things that you have to do as an artist, you still have to find time to get creative juices going so you can put out these projects. Whereas when you're not in that and you've kind of stepped back, you can take your time. That's what Maxwell does. And I'm waiting for a new Maxwell project so we can get it on here, because we will dive into the Maxwell. Waiting for a Jaheim project, as I've said previously, because we will dive in here. Those are 2 gentlemen who I love, respect, enjoy their music, buy their music every time it drops. And both of them also, similar to Anthony Hamilton, there is large gaps in between projects, which means time is being taken to find themselves, to redefine themselves, to re-understand themselves, see where they are in life, and all the things you need to for growth, essentially, to be able to put out some of these type of projects. And so we're 2 songs in. This threw it all away. Now I know that I remember Kiss, Jadakiss had a freestyle to this beat. Smack Come Up DVD, one of those. Once upon a time I used to collect those too. I've long thrown them on. I don't even know where they are now, but I used to have Smack or Come Up, and he was on one of them back when he used to do those low budget videos with like a SD camera. So he has a freestyle on it. It's pretty cool.
And I'm looking back on
You could feel it. You could feel the soul coming out of this right here. This is amazing. We're 3 songs in. Now, this 3rd song right here is called Real Love. And before we even get into that, shout out to the boss, Ricky Ross. On this channel, personally, love Ross. Ross is quietly having an amazing 2021. Ross was on the Drake CD. Could have been on a Kanye CD, I feel like. He wasn't on a Kanye, but he was on a Drake CD. He was on the AZ CD. And now he's popping up on this Anthony Hamilton CD. I don't know if this means that we're close to getting a new Ross project, which I'm hoping for, because I love Ross when he drops. I don't love every project, but I love Ross when he drops. I love how he's engaged right now. And I love that Ross is not just throwing himself on what's popular. Because obviously you expect them to hear him on a Drake. Drake is wildly popular, obviously. But I didn't expect to hear him on AZ, which means that him being on the AZ project is more about the respect and admiration and love he has for probably listening to AZ growing up. That says, man, AZ maybe gave him the call, or maybe he called AZ, however that went about, and he jumped on there. Similar to this Anthony Hamilton thing. I don't think as a general public thing that everyone is checking for Anthony Hamilton at the moment. However, Ross is like, I'm checking for Anthony. Let me jump on there. And again, Ross gives a solid. It's what we expect from Ross, right? Ross gives a Ross verse of what we expect. Smooth. It's nice. So we're going to get into it. But I just wanted to say, shout out to Ross. And again, Ross is the reason why I listen to Meek Mill. Because I knew a Meek Mill before, and he wasn't on my radar. I knew a Wale before. I remember the Lady Gaga, wasn't on my radar. I knew a Nipsey before, wasn't on my radar. And so when Ross signed him, and I think the very first project from Meek I heard was the Tupac's Back. And then one of my all-time favorite records, the one where he's on the bikes in Philly. Whatever that one was, where Ross has a verse in there. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But that one, fire. And then when Wale came out, and Wale had a record with Jeremiah, and I'm like, oof. I feel like he changed their entire trajectory of their careers, because Ross is also an amazing A&R. And then Nipsey, which I've said before, was not checking for until he was on the MMG Self-Made Volume 2. And he gave 2 stellar verses. One on the Stally record and whatever the other one is that he's on. I think he's on 2 on there. But definitely the Stally one I always think about. There's a video for it. I think they're in LA. From that moment on, I was a Nipsey fan, but I wasn't paying attention to any of those artists before Ross. So shout out to the boss. Let's get right into it. So this Real Love. And you already getting the feel. You understand? Like we're 3 songs in now. We're already getting the vibes. We're already getting the vibes of what we're listening to right now. I haven't even finished this, but I feel like I'm ready to stamp this Clean Your House music. I have not finished it, but I feel
Clean
like I'm
your
ready to
house
stamp this
music.
Clean Your House
You can
music.
clean to it.
Let's continue. I want to get up to this Raw's verse. Let me see. Where's that Raw's part at? I like it you got the cursing too. I love them. I love the cornrows in the hair too. I'm all in. I used to rock Ralph Lauren was a low life. I always joke with my homeboy Donnie, maybe one day days, I'm gonna have to get him to come on the couch or something, because I'm always talking about, it's my homeboy from super long ago. We go back to like 96. But he used to say rockin' low. Like you never used to say polo, it was low. You know, we was always in low, we was always in polo. My brother is like the polo king these days. I swear I always see him in polo. I mean, I think he throws a Nike too, but he's a polo guy, my brother. So shout out to my brother as well, Sheaf and Kashif, and he's big on the polo. So those are 2 low guys to me. Not get low, but the horse on the heart. Shout out to Donnie. That's one of his lines right there. But that Raw's verse, the Raw song is really fire. Check that out too. This next one right here is my favorite record on the CD. This is my favorite record on the CD right here. This is the Little John record. Now I know when I saw this, I said, Little John? Now, I got Little John messed up, and I apologize, because when I heard Little John, I immediately went to crunk music Little John and completely disregarded Usher Little John. And what I mean by Usher Little John is Lovers and Friends. Completely dismissed that version of Little John because I automatically went to crunk music Little John and forgot Little John can get in a different pocket. And so this pocket that he jumped in right here, this is my favorite record. This is my favorite record. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. Let me see if I can bring it up a little bit to that part. That's my favorite record. I think that record is nuts. I have played it so many times on the CD. I thought when I heard the Ross record, I was like, oh, this is it. And then when I heard that Lil Jon one, Lil Jon even has a verse at the end, similar to Lovers and Friends. I probably could have done without the verse itself. But Lil Jon, man, I got to put some more respect on his name. I remember watching him in that Verses with T-Pain and thinking, this guy got records. And I knew he had records, but sometimes you got to be reminded of people. I feel like sometimes we forget. Sometimes we sleep on people. We need to be reminded. I didn't need to be reminded of Ja, right? When Ja Rule and Fat Joe, because I never stopped believing in what Ja was doing. I never stopped playing Ja. I've been playing Ja since, 2000, 2001, whatever it was, straight through. And so there's been no breakage for me. I didn't have to remember, but I had to remember that Lil Jon ain't playing. And I apologize. John, if you ever see this, I don't know if you'll see this, but if you ever see this, I'm sorry. I should have been putting more respect on your name. Because, yeah. So we got this next record right here is called White Hennessy. The sample, when I heard it, automatically brought me back to my favorite rap group of all time. I'll let you hear it and you tell me if you know who this is. When you hear that, you should already know. Give up the goods and get sprayed, right? MOBB, DEP. I was about to go into a whole other verse that they got, but I said, I'm gonna let that slide. But obviously the Mob sampled it on what is probably my second favorite rap album ever. The infamous Life After Death is still my favorite. I want to say Life After Death is still my favorite, but the infamous is right behind it. I hold it in higher regard than I do Jay-Z's my two favorite Jay-Z albums, Reasonable Doubt and Blueprint. And I used to not think like that, but I'm telling you, that infamous, man, it's a problem. And Prodigy has been in my top 5 for, I don't know, 20 years, 25 years. I don't know. If you know me, you know how I feel about Prodigy. Love that guy. Rest in peace to Prodigy. Havoc made one of the greatest beats of all time. That Shook One's beat is top 5 greatest rap beat ever. Up there with Nothing But a G Thing. Up there with Eric Sermon, Keep It Real. Up there. This is my personal favorites. I don't really care if y'all agree or not. I'm just telling you my personal favorites. The Shook One's beat. The Eric Sermon, Keep It Real from the Jamal. I guess it's Jamal. Jamal, Keep It Real. But Eric Sermon made that beat, so I'm calling it the Eric Sermon beat. The Dre, Nothing But a G Thing. What else is in there? Milkbone, Keep It Real. Yeah, that Milkbone is... whatever. Well, we gonna get off on a tangent. But that White Hennessy right there, it's a solid one right there. I like that too. But every time I hear it, I literally just think of the Mob. And my rule is, when I'm listening to records, now obviously they did not, obviously the Mob sampled and their sample is somebody else's sample. But when I think of a sample, if someone else did it, in order for it to resonate with me, it has to either be on par with the record I already know or exceed it. Great example, Murder Inc. did an amazing job of taking records that we knew and loved, and when the beat initially drops, you have to second guess, which version am I getting right now? Which version? And so when you think of Flavor in Your Ear remix, I don't know when that beat drops. Am I getting Flavor in Your Ear remix, or am I getting the Lopez in Ja? When I hear the One More Chance beat, am I getting the One More Chance remix, or am I getting Ashanti Foolish? That's what I mean. Like, when you do such an amazing job of taking a record that people knew and loved and flipping it, they did that so many times. The Ashanti record, one of my all-time favorite Ashanti records. Y'all know I love that young lady. One of my all-time favorite records, the record she took where she took the Raekwon and Ghost Heaven or Hell beat. I can't even think of what that record is. She has a video in it where she got the brown hair, almost red. Red is my favorite. You got the red hair, it's a problem. But she had the brown hair. But whatever that video is, she took the Heaven or Hell beat, which is one of my favorite Raekwon Ghost collaborations, songs, whatever you want to call it. It is in my top 3 on that purple tape. That Heaven or Hell was ridiculous. RZA put his whole kneecap in that beat. It wasn't just the foot, the whole kneecap went in that beat. It is so amazing, a beat and song. And she completely flipped it. And when I hear her version now, I don't think it's better than the original, but I sure will tell you, I don't mind hearing it when it plays. And so that's what I mean. And so I like this Anthony Hamilton White Hennessy, but it does not compare to the Mob Give Up the Goods. So now the next record, Coming Home. Sound like Dupree. I don't even need to hear the words, because the beat is already giving me that. I want to say this real fast, because I just thought about this as that beat came on. On this CD right here, right? On this, Coming From Where I'm From, there is a track on here. I'm not going to play it right now, but it's called Float. It's track number 9. It's called Float on this CD. Float. Hear me when I tell you. Play it with your wife. Thank me later. Wives, play it with your husband. Thank me later. Me and Kristen played that when we were dating earlier on in the courtship. It was like 2003 or whatever. We were just dating, or 2004. We dated in 2003, 2004, but that record came on. We were playing Anthony Hamilton in my bedroom of my parents' house. And that song came on, and it did something to me. And it must have did something to her too, because I'm telling you, for when we were dating, when we finished the moment that we had, right? Understand what I'm saying, right? In case kids are listening, because there was a moment, I thought at that moment in time we had a baby. It was so intense what took place that time. And if I ever meet Anthony Hamilton, I'm just gonna tell him, man, that float record was a problem, man. You had me nervous for at least a month. I was waiting to make sure, her thing came or whatever. And I was like, oh, all right, cool. Because I just knew what came out of that. And she was nervous too. Like, that float had us, it was a different movement right there. And so, man, Anthony Hamilton. So when I heard this, I said, oh, it took me right back to that. I wasn't thinking about it in the moment, but it took me right back to that. And I mean, man, that float, I mean, it's coming home. That feels like Get To It music. If you're familiar with what we did on the other podcast, Get To It music is just that pocket of what I was just talking about with me and Kristen way back in the day, 2003, 2004, somewhere in that venue. But that was a nice one. That record right there is, this is good too. This is the Jennifer? No, that's not the Jennifer Hudson one. The next one is. That's nice. You Made a Fool of Me. That's nice too. We're not going to jump into that. This right here is a sample. Thought we were in love. This takes me back. So that right there, so that sample, I don't know if this is accurate. I probably should have looked it up before I did this, but it made me think of the Higher. I don't think it's the same one, because I think that is the Teddy Pendergrass latest, greatest inspiration, whatever the verbiage is of that song, that Kanye sampled for Do or Die. Do or Die, 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 A-Z, Do or Die. But that song, Higher, that's what I felt like I was hearing when I heard this. Just that vibe of what that record is. And if you're not familiar with that Do or Die record with that Kanye produced called Higher, the best Do or Die record. I know a lot of people say that Twister record is the best record. No, that Twister verse is the best verse. But that actual song, totality, beat, everything, I just think that Do or Die, Higher with Kanye West, when Kanye West was peak Kanye West and that soul sample feel, lights out. And so that's what I got this vibe when I was playing. It's that violin part. It's the violin that got me like that. I think it is. Don't hold me to that, but it gives that same feel. I probably should have just looked it up what song it is, but it gives me that same feel and vibe of that. And so that's what I was thinking when I was listening. This right here is the Jennifer Hudson record, Superstar. Let's bring this up a little bit. This is just a remix. Again, I don't even know how many records we're in now. There's been no misses on this CD. This is such a good project. I am telling you, if you have not done so, take the time to listen to this Anthony Hamilton, Love Is the New Black. You will thoroughly enjoy it. I feel like this is cool out music. This is chill around the house. This is clean your house music. This is riding, it's sunny. You got the windows down, let the music play a little louder music. This is sitting down, just relaxing. You just want to vibe out with your lady music. This is good. This is good. I don't even feel like we need to get any further in it. Superstar was 9. We got 14 more records. There's 14 records on here. Pillows, I'm Sorry, Mercy, Safe. The I'm Sorry record is really good too because it's a grown-up record. What I mean by that, let me just jump to it real fast. So that record right there is about growth in the sense of him recognizing how he mistreated and misabused the woman that loved him. It's not talking about him hitting on her or him beating on her in any way or anything like that. But we could take for granted our women. I've taken for granted my wife. My wife is an amazing woman. She has done a ton of stuff. Doesn't mean she's done everything right. Doesn't mean I've enjoyed or liked everything she's done. No, but it doesn't discredit the fact she has still been an amazing woman, an amazing wife, an amazing mother, an amazing human. And there are times where I have taken her or took her for granted. I try not to do that these days and appreciate who she is and what she brings to the table. But this song is a reflection of, man, I had somebody who was good and I did not properly care, respect, appreciate who she was and what she brought to the table. He's reflecting back, and I thought that that was really good because sometimes we need to hear that, and that kind of goes back to what the theme is about: love being the new black. Understanding we got to be in this together. Nas has a record about that on one of these the projects he has with Hit Boy. I don't know if it's King Disease 1 or King Disease 2. I think it's 1, but he talks about, I think it's the record with Lil Durk. So whichever one Lil Durk is on, I think it's the King Disease 1. But he has a record on there where he talks about us as black people, husband and wife, male and female, we are better together. We're better together than we are when we're not together. And so we can't wait for someone else to make us appreciate each other and to be on the same page. We got to just do that. And we got to just know that. And I love that because I'm here for it. And so, listen, I've given you enough. You have gotten, without even giving you all 14, you got a good 9 off the break where there was no misses in there. None. I'm sorry, 10, because I even just gave you the I'm Sorry record. 10 out of 14 I just gave you. The rest are fire. I'm telling you they're fire. Go play it, go play it, go play it, go play it. Check it out, go stream it. Come back, let me know in your comments, what do you think, how you feel about the review? Have you played it? Did this make you want to play it? What's your thoughts? Leave them, let me know. As always, I hope you guys just have a wonderful, blessed, productive, stress-free day, weekday, weekend, whenever you are listening to this. Till next time.